welcome to Assassin's Creed Syndicate at Comic-Con 2008! Yeah. Look at these beautiful rooks in the audience. How are you doing, alright? You can answer me, it's alright, I'm not going to bite at you. Some of you are just going, surely he's in the wrong panel, he should be doing a Game of Thrones one. I like messing with you. I moved to New York City. My name is Jeff Leach, by the way. I'm going to be your host for this panel. I'm going to be the moderator, bringing beautiful people up to this stage to tell you all about this incredible new game in the Assassin's Creed franchise. I have moved to New York. I'm officially a New Yorker now, and I like messing with people. You come up early, man. What are you doing? They pushed you on stage. All right, we'll bring him straight up, shall we? I was going to do a few jokes at the top. This is Mac. He's the creative director of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And there you have your seat. Monsieur Marc-Alexis Cote, Mac to his friends. He makes me call him his full name. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been here at Comic-Con, it's my first time. Who's been before? You're a very welcoming crowd, I love it. I feel like I'm amongst my people. I am, by the way, why am I hosting this panel, you might be asking yourself? A, the entire thing is based on my life, as you can tell by my accent. I'm from the East End, I'm a Portuguese, do you know what I mean? Secondly, I am probably one of the biggest AC fans in here. I'll prove it with my AC tattoo on the back of my neck. Thank you very much. Proper gamer geek. And more than that, I have been experiencing a few upsetting things here at Comic-Con I want to tell you about as well. Some of you keep thinking that I'm cosplaying every day. This is my life. This is what I look like on a day-to-day basis. Can we just clear this up? I am not Jon Snow. I am not Aldous Snow from Getting to the Greek. I am not Fabio. Nor am I a lazy pirate. A guy said that to me yesterday, just a lazy pirate. Someone else thought I was anyone from the cast of Vikings. No. And when I tie my hair back, General Zod. From the 1978 Terrence Stamp performance, obviously. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you what, we are here to welcome a panel of people who are going to tell you all about this fantastic game of the franchise. So without further ado, let's meet our incredible panel. We've already got him on stage. Let's have another round of applause, please, for creative director Marc-Alexis Cote. And joining him, the actors who are bringing Evie and Jacob Frye to life, Victoria Atkin and Paul Amos. I guess they're not coming. I'm going to have to ruin the magic and get up.
Never like lazy pirates.
I'll have to come back up. Sorry to ruin the magic for you. So, welcome, the three of you. How are you?
We're good.
Enjoying your Comic-Con experience so far?
Absolutely. Yep.
Are we excited to have them, ladies and gentlemen? I tell you what, let's get straight into it. Matt, can you tell us what Assassin's Creed Syndicate, where does it take place?
Well, Jeff, you know, when we were talking about Assassin's Creed, where is important, but also when and why you are there. So let me walk you through it. So in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, it takes place in London in 1868. You're right at the end of the Industrial Revolution. So this is a period in the history of mankind that ushered in an era of innovation like was never seen before. It changed the lives of millions of people with inventions that were once thought impossible. But it also widened the gap between the working classes and the rich. So one of the youths of the Victorian era were kind of destined to work hard and to die young in conditions that we would find today completely unimaginable. If you want to take a look, go on Google Images and search for Fossey Jaws, and you'll see kind of what could happen to the people working during that time. So one of the ways for the...
You've been Googling some weird stuff, Matt, haven't you?
No, absolutely. So one of the ways for the youths of this era to escape their fate was actually to group together into street gangs. And this is where our two heroes, the twins Jacob and Evie Frye, come in, as they'll create their own street gang, the Rooks, and use them to oppose the Templars.
So I tell you what, let's talk to one of our two assassin duos here. Paul, you breathe life, obviously, into one of the protagonists, Jacob Frye. Who actually is he, and what's he doing in London in the first place?
Well, Jacob and Evie, they live outside of London, and they were brought up by a very ordered brotherhood, very structured, not necessarily about conflict, and not really wanting to take on what was going on with the Templars in London. And Jacob and Evie's mother passes away when they're young, and their father just passes away of natural causes just prior to where the game's starting, just before. And they're sort of left to make their way, and they decide to take on London and take on the Templars. And Jacob has a dream of having his own gang called the Rooks, and which Evie's not so keen about. And the two of them go into London, and they try to take on the Templars, and with Evie and Jacob, hopefully they can do it.
Now, Mac, obviously, Jacob, every protagonist in a game when we play through the franchise has a different fighting style, different skill set, and also different tools. So what kind of stuff is Jacob going to have at his disposal, and how does he fight?
Well, Jacob and Evie both fight very differently than what we've seen in past Assassin's Creed. I think they are the ones that are closest to their enemies that we've ever featured. So they're more like street brawlers. They fight dirty. It's more like street fighting than like fancy fencing.
That's how we do it in East London. We fight dirty.
Absolutely. And, but it makes the fight so much more spectacular because we've got multi-counters which are back, but multi-finishers, and we use the environment. Which is something that you'll see in the trailers that will show. So there's a lot of usage of the environment when you fight, and it makes it more spectacular. In terms of tools, thank you, Victoria, for bringing it on.
She made that herself, actually. It's part of her contract.
It took me my whole contract.
So this is what we call the Assassin Gauntlet. So what you see here is the hallucinogenic dart launcher, which I'm very happy to have pronounced correctly this time around. And what you can use it for is to shoot berserk darts at enemies. And it's really one of the fun tools for our assassins to use because it creates chaos in the environment. You just don't know what's going to happen as enemies start killing each other.
Well, you can actually take it to parties on the weekend and just shoot it to yourself if you fancy a dance.
Just not going to go to parties with you. So this right here is what we call the rope launcher. It's certainly one of the most iconic tools in Assassin's Creed Syndicate because of the Industrial Revolution, the buildings started to get much higher and the streets so much wider than what we've seen in past Assassin's Creed games. And our assassins will be able to use this tool to cross those wider streets and maintain their momentum as they parkour through the city. Finally, you'll have the hidden blade, which is right here. As well, and that can be used for the classic assassinations that you do in Assassin's Creed. In their right hand, our assassins will have either brass knuckles, again, like really something that really brings them close to their enemies, or a kukri knife that comes from the far east of the Empire.
Fantastic. So many ways to murder innocent people. I tell you what, we've heard a little bit about Jacob. Should we have a little look at him, folks?
Yeah.
Yeah. All together or not at all? Should we have a look at Jacob? I can deal with that. Alright, we've seen a lot about the brawns of the operation of the duo. Let's see a bit more about the brains of the operation. Evie Frye. Well, she is. She's like she's the clever one, right?
Balls, thank you.
That's what she is. Ladies are always more clever than boys, am I right? See me afterwards, ladies. See me afterwards. Victoria, who is Evie and what's her role to play in the Assassin's Creed Syndicate?
Well, first of all, I'm very excited to be here. But Evie is a critical part of the Assassin's Creed story. While Jacob is more hot-headed and brash, she is the master of stealth, and she's perfected a silent, swift, and invisible kind of strike. I can't unveil too much about Evie actually today, but I do want to show off what Evie can do.
What does she do in relation to Jacob as well? Because she really does. She's the calming, almost like a calming entity in his life.
Well,
in real life?
In his arm.
Well, Evie thinks things through. She really thinks things through, whereas Jacob would go for something, but then he teaches her a lot of things as well to not always.
So beautiful progression of both of the characters in the game.
well, Jacob, if I may, like Jacob is more like the one who will challenge the ways of the creed, where Evie is more the follower of the creed. So we've got this knife.
More of a purist, maybe.
Absolutely, and while both are working together, they have the same goal. Like you'll see it. You'll see the differences, and the chemistry comes really from their interaction. And that's what made the game.
Also, the relationship with their father as well, because I mean, Evie had a much closer relationship with the Creed with her father than Jacob. So Jacob's always kind of rebelling against his father.
Yeah, she likes to follow the rule book of the Assassin's Creed.
Fantastic. I tell you what, should we have a little look at Evie as well?
Yes.
She's amazing, but terrible. I wouldn't write swipe her on Tinder, I'm going to be honest with you. Matt, I know you have a soft spot for this Angel of Death. Can you tell us a little bit more about Evie?
Oh, absolutely. I think she's really one of the favorite characters. I want to talk about Evie. I've been wanting to talk about her for quite a few months now. But she's really one of my favorite characters that we've ever built in Assassin's Creed. She's more, I'm sorry, Paul, I know.
Yes!
Hurts you every time I say it, but I've got a soft spot for Evie. I like to play with her because, like, the minute I take control of her when I have the chance to play the game, is that I can feel she's more strategic. She's got more tools for stealth, and that's how I like to approach most of my gameplay situations. But she's also a super badass fighter, as you've just seen. So one of the tools that I forgot to mention earlier is that she has a cane sword. So this tool right here is like super awesome. It's exactly what it says it is.
Ooh.
You can eat up your enemies with the stick and use the throwing knife that's embedded in it to kill your enemies more swiftly. So I think this is, again, yet one more way to
You just said you loved your character.
So yeah, I think it's one of the tools that our players will remember for years to come.
I mean, what we're also going to remember, of course, is this is the first game where we're going to have two playable characters, you know, the yin and the yang to each other. That's why we're excited about Evie, I guess, because it is the first time we've got this female protagonist in there as well. But also, I mean, we've got a sexy man up there too, you know, which everyone needs a sexy man in there as well.
Sassy assassin.
There's not enough of me to go around, ladies and gentlemen. So, how is that going to work out for us, to having the two playable characters? Why was that so important to you and the team to give these two options to the players?
Well, from the start, Jeff, one of the things that I wanted the team to be able to accomplish is to change the way we tell the story in Assassin's Creed. And having two protagonists is something that allows us to accomplish this. Having two protagonists like Jacob and Evie who share something through being brother and sister but have slightly different objectives and very different personalities is something that I think makes the storytelling much more dynamic and will keep our players on their toes as the story unfolds.
We get to dive inside both of their amazing minds, which is obviously twice the fun for us as gamers. How's it actually going to work physically? Because I guess you guys are wondering as well, how are you going to be able to switch between the two characters? Do you play the main storyline as just one of them? Is the other one hanging out on a rooftop looking after their twin? What's going on?
So on the narrative path, you'll see them working together, but you'll have to play some missions as Jacob and some missions as Evie. But in the open world, you can choose to play either as Jacob or Evie. Both have their skill tree, their own outfits for you to come dressed as next year at Comic-Con and to invest in the game. So a lot of choice and freedom for our players and how they decide to approach the experience.
So you can play as Jacob or Evie or the Easter egg, their smaller cousin, Stevie. That's a lie, by the way. Although you could put that in some DLC now, I feel like 20% is what
For you.
I mean, obviously, the games have always involved the growth of the protagonists. You know, they start out as recruits and then they end up becoming master assassins, and we love following that journey. How are these particular two characters, these two protagonists, going to undergo that change in the story, and how do they earn their respect in the streets of London?
Well, I think one of the important aspects of Assassin's Creed Syndicate is how you can conquer London and make it yours. So every activity that you do in the game will increase your influence in the city and in return make the city more useful to you. So you'll be able to complete stuff like attack enemy gang strongholds, compete in gang wars, hunt down Templars, liberate children from abusive factory foreman.
That's dark, man. It's gone a bit deep.
But it's so fun because that once you've freed the children, they'll be in the streets waiting to help you, bring you stuff, helping you in your mission. So everything that you do in the game gives you a sense that the city you become in charge of the city of its underground.
Fantastic. Now, obviously, Paul, I guess a lot of people here want to know how you landed the role. This is an exciting role to take on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to preface this with a couple of things. Number one, I was a huge gamer until I had a child, and I had to get rid of my gaming system.
It's a story we can all relate to.
I know, I'm not even a midnight dad either. And I always wanted to be in a video game. And I'll also preface it with, during all of this, Victoria was probably lying by the pool in LA. Anyway, I did the TGF, which was the pilot, back in 2013. And then I didn't hear anything, so I thought I'd be recast. And then all of a sudden I got a call at like 9 p.m. in August while I was filming a show saying, can you come in tomorrow morning? And they gave me like 15 sides. I learned more, went in and did it, and didn't hear anything. I thought, oh, there you go, there's Assassin's Creed gone. So I finished the show I was doing called Lost Girl. And basically booked a 3-week holiday to Mexico. So I booked it down deep into Mexico, 3 flights deep, and as soon as I get there, what do I get? Can you come to London to screen test with the girl who's going to play your sister in the game? So I'm like, alright, whatever. So I fly back to Toronto, 3 flights, fly to London, get in thinking, okay, I've probably got this job, right? So I turn up, and there's guys. There's lots of guys. So I do my 15-minute audition, and I'm like, alright, well, who knows. So I fly back to Toronto. I wake up the next morning, can you fly to LA in 2 hours' time? And I'm like, yeah, I know I've got a child, but yeah, I suppose I could do it. So I fly to LA, get there midnight, have an audition at 9 a.m. the next morning, and I'm like, come on, I'm in LA, I just got here. It's just me now, yeah? No, there's guys. So I do my half-an-hour audition, fly back to Toronto, go to Winnipeg to do a con for Lost Girl, get back to Toronto, arrive there on Monday morning, 11 flights later, 1 week, and I get an email that says, you're the guy. And that's how it worked.
On the plus side, you racked
That's
up.
not how it worked for her.
On the plus side, you racked up an impressive amount of air miles, and you can now afford a free flight back to
I'm in the elite club now, it's great. I just walk straight through.
What about you, Victoria? What was the process of you bringing to life Evie Frye?
Well, the process, I worked mainly with television and film, and the process was very similar but different in many ways. On set, we don't have a set. We have a padded room. So we have the head cam. Paul and I have done the facial capture and the motion capture, as well as the voice for Evie and Jacob. And it's not glamorous. We have dots all over our faces.
The Black Plague.
Yeah, and it's a very different environment to what we used to. There's no costume, although I did wear heels throughout the whole of the motion capture, which I'm quite proud of. So I did the whole thing in heels.
Work, girl.
No, right? So,
It's like an absolute medium between theatre and film. It's a really interesting process, and I find it fascinating as an actor.
Difficult to act over a green log, isn't it? Just a green screen, everything's green.
there was no green.
No green.
No
It's
green
a
at all.
green. It's a white
I'm
padded
living in
cell
the past,
with
mate.
these cameras that capture everything in 360, so they can choose whatever camera angle or lighting or whatever they want to do. Post is an incredible process, and it must be so liberating for a director.
Yeah, but I think we're getting better at capturing the performance that you guys do, and you might have been wondering why we were flying you around, why we flew Victoria to Quebec City, and everything is that we really need to make sure that we get the right actors that represent the characters that we're trying to bring to life. And in this case, I've been convinced since day one that the success of this game hangs on the chemistry between Jacob and Evie, or the actors that are portraying Jacob and Evie. And I think you two have gone, I've heard from our cinematics director that you were going out together in Toronto just to build this chemistry together. And it's something that transposes directly into the game, into the experience. And that I want to make sure that we capture. Paul has an incredible smile. He always smiles. And it's one of the reasons I wanted him to be Jacob as well, because the way we imagine Jacob is that he does everything in the game with a smile. And we had a problem at one point because that did not translate into the game. So it's like I kept looking at the footage from the mocap sessions, and I really worked with the team so that we could get this smile into the game, because I think, again, it's something that reflects upon our what we want our players to feel joy as they play the game.
Do you feel like, have you become brother and sister then in real life? Do you like farm on each other? And...
There's a healthy sibling rivalry for sure.
Yeah, we certainly, no. we get on really well.
And in real life, are you like your characters, or are you more like the other character? Are you like a bit more headstrong? Are you a little bit more of a planner?
I would say we are perfectly in line with Jacob and Evie. I'm a total bookworm. I love books, and Evie is very bookish.
Yeah, and I just go out and get smashed all the time. Really.
Yeah,
well, let's see the setting for that getting smashed. We want to take a little bit more of a look at Victorian London now, and you can see Jacob in action. Matt, can you do us a favour and talk us through this?
Yeah, sure. I'll just watch it right there. So.
You do that.
Oh.
So this is your first look at Assassin's Creed Syndicate in-game. So this demo that we're showcasing today takes place in Westminster Borough. So this is probably one of the places with the most recognizable landmarks in London. You see Jacob coming into the scene with his gang, the Rooks. And I'll let you hear what he has to say.
These people are tired of living under your boot heel. You're a bully, Mr. Strain. And I find I'm not overly fond of bullies.
You are not on the payroll, Mr. Frye. Your opinion is no concern of mine.
His gang, the Rooks, take care of the enemies as he chases down his target. But this gives you an idea of our more brutal combat. Much more faster than before, and it's unforgiving for the enemies. So one of the things that's new as well this year in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, I'm super proud of, is that any vehicle that you can see, you can drive. It really changes the way you approach the experience. So those carriages rides are super exciting because all the enemy AI has been rewritten, revamped to take that into account. So horse basically being horses, you can just like let it go around the city, jump on top of your carriage, dispatch enemies, jump from cart to cart. So it's super dynamic and very, very exciting for our players. It also is so much more credible because now you've got pedestrians that are moving on the sidewalks instead of in the middle of the streets. So it really changed the way we go about building this experience. So Jacob followed his target right into Victoria Station, which is one of the most important and iconic train stations of this era. So those train stations are going to be all over the London, and they'll be teeming with opportunities for the player to engage in. So you see Jacob just lost his target, and you see the road launcher in action. So that's one of the tools that you'll be able to use to quickly climb on top of buildings and props like this to track your enemies. So you can use it not only to climb on top of buildings, but as well to traverse the environment much faster. So, and to drop into moving objects like this train. So it's really a powerful tool that allows you to parkour more efficiently and track down your targets. So trains will be a huge part of Assassin's Creed Syndicate as well. They bring a lot of dynamism to the environment. You can use them in your strategy to kill enemies. You've got train heists, and it's really a much more dynamic environment. It's the most dynamic environment we've ever built. So the revolver, as you see, is also something that's new in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and it's great to come into situations with your 6-shooter. So as you can imagine, usage of the hidden blade to dispatch your enemy. And I'll let you see what he has to say.
My death accomplishes nothing, assassin. Guided by our firm hands, society will flourish, driven by speed, ingenuity, and efficiency to a glorious future. The people will obey only us. We will defend this new world against criminals like you.
We've also lined up an exclusive treat to show you guys on the big screens. Acclaimed director F. Gary Gray, who directed major films including Friday, The Italian Job, Law-Abiding Citizen, and the upcoming hit Straight Outta Compton, all about NWA, if there's any NWA fans in here. Yeah, me and you guys. He's partnered up with famed comic artist Pop Man, who's worked on DC Comics, Marvel Comics, Top Cow, and Dark Horse. So let's welcome them both onto stage, please, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going, guys? I'll tell you what, before we get into what you guys have actually brought to show us today, to give to these beautiful people here, I want to say firstly, happy anniversary on your movie Friday.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
It's, how many years is it?
It's been, thanks for reminding me, it's been 20 years. Thanks very much.
He made it when he was 7 years old, ladies and gentlemen. He's only 26. Look at him, beautiful. And tell us a little bit about what you've been working on lately, because I know you've been a busy boy, right?
Yeah, you know, I'm working on the movie Straight Outta Compton, which is the story about the hip-hop group NWA. And Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, Eazy-E, and that's coming out August 14th. And that's what I've been working on for the last 4 years, actually. It's coming out in a month, and I'm excited about it.
I look forward to watching it. It's going to be amazing. And I'm going to just be a very middle-class boy from London throwing down gang signs. Straight out Compton. Straight out of West London, actually. So now I've heard you're quite a history buff, Gary. We were talking about history before, backstage. And is that why you got involved with this project? Because obviously that ties these games together and maybe your film as well.
Absolutely, it's part of it. You know, I love history. I travel a lot, and I try to learn a lot by just kind of going deep into places that have a ton of history. And the game is one way to be transported back in time and to have a little fun, kick a little ass, and learn a little something. So this is a perfect project for me for sure, because I just love it. Love it.
Ties together your passion for history and your passion for kick-ass protagonists.
Absolutely.
I mean, speaking about those, obviously in your films, you've directed some great movies that have featured a lot of gangsters or kind of badass leads, I guess they would describe it as. Where would you place Jacob and Evie Frye amongst your gangster level? Where are they on the spectrum of gangster leaders?
I would say right at the top.
Yeah!
I would. And the only reason why is because, you know, while Charlize Theron, she was a badass in Italian Job, for sure.
Yeah.
She didn't have this.
This thing.
Or that. So I would say if she did, the movie would have been 20 minutes long and short and cut short. But no, I love the characters, Jacob and Evie Frye. It's just awesome.
An awesome experience. I mean, I was actually in a game. You didn't know this. I was in a game once as well back in London. They're called the Jets from West Side Story. Did that at age 11 on stage. Killed him. I've got to put jokes in. I'm a comedian. That's what I do. Pop, can you fill us in on what you've been up to as well? I know you've been a busy man as well.
Yeah, actually, I'm a 20-year veteran of comics, working on titles like The Flash, Batgirl, Spider-Man, and right now I'm currently drawing He-Man and Masters of the Universe for DC Comics.
So it's done a few things. I like that. That's incredible. Now you mentioned some of them there. You've drawn some of the most iconic comic book characters of all time. What was creating the piece that you're going to show us today that you and Gary did together? Is that similar to your past work? Was it different process drawing for an animated short like this than a graphic novel, perhaps?
Well, I mean, there's lots of different, things that go with, animating versus drawing a panel-to-panel comic. But for sure, the similarities are the frenetic pace. Because there was a lot to do in a relatively short amount of time.
Go ahead, you can say it.
And but the amount of time that we had, I don't think hindered our abilities to really bring our game and pay attention to the details and making this short fall into the fold of Assassin's Creed.
Was this also like a new experience for the two of you doing this kind of project? Because I'd like to see a feature between the two of you maybe in the future. Could that be a thing?
We're already talking about it.
Yeah, nice. So it's something else to look forward to.
After the first few frames they sent to me, I gave him a call and I said, you know what, we have to talk about something. We definitely have to creatively talk, because he's being modest, but what he did was absolutely amazing, especially with the time we had. There's definitely work in the future, creative work for us.
I have an idea for a title for you. It's called Lazy Pyro. Just saying, could work. Now, Pop, obviously you're a man who knows about iconic superheroes. Who, if you had to pit Jacob and Evie against a superhero double act or duo, who would you put them up against?
Let's see. I would have to say Batman and Batgirl, right? I mean, I think that would actually be a good fight. I mean, it would be a good matchup. You can't really pick like Superman, because then they just fly, and then and she did the rope launcher up really high.
Yeah, there's your live action movie. How would you kind of cross those two, right?
I feel like it's quite a fair fight as well because they're both super agile and they've got a few tools at their disposal, but no superhero powers necessarily.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, all right, good, cool. I wanted to ask also, Gary, what were the inspirations behind the short that we're actually about to see? What inspired you?
You know, I love a great underdog story. You know, there's always kind of that thing running through some, you know, most of the movies that I've made, and the fact that they get out there, like I said, they kick ass. But we got a call from Ubisoft, and I was directing Straight Outta Compton. I flew to London, and you know, of course, I thought I had the job, and I got there, and there was Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese.
Guys.
Audition.
Guys.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. And then they called me up, and I said, "Of course I would do it. This is great. This is different." But no, you know, I love Assassin's Creed, and you know, I don't get a chance to play it often, but you know, I've played it before for sure. And they described what the new game Syndicate is like, and played it a little bit. And I said, okay, let's make sure we tie into the themes of the game, and the rest is history.
Well, listen, look, I'm literally pulling my hair out with excitement waiting to see this because I haven't seen it yet. And I need this hair because tomorrow I'm going to cosplay as Jesus. So, ladies and gentlemen, would you like to see this incredible animated shot? I mean, what obviously you can see there from that was an exceptionally unique art style there. I mean, have you wanted to work in that way before, or is this something you wanted to do for a while?
I tell you, I mean, this is like a dream come true for me. You know, I guess in my career I've been known as a artist chameleon, like done a lot of different things. But when I was approached to do this project, you know, they approached me with like kind of a vision, and I think that this, you know, I want to try like this dark, very stylistic look that is, you know, very indicative of, you know, the Assassin's Creed Syndicate, you know, world, and definitely when they told me who was involved, scary, right? I was like, I am so in. I am so in. And yeah, so it's a total dream come true for me.
Nice. And Gary, obviously when you're reimagining the Assassin's Creed Syndicate story there, what was the essence of that story that you wanted to capture in the film?
You know, like I said, I'm a true fan of the underdog. And for these guys to go and not only take London, but take it back from just a bunch of bad guys. And it's kind of similar to the movie I'm doing right now. Guys that come from nowhere, who's kind of tired of the oppressors and want to stand up and kind of fight for their own thing, their own rights, and have a little fun. And of course, a little gangsterism stuff that goes in there's fun. That's what we kind of use. I mean, we also, when I sat down with New Science and the agency, who kind of gave me the call, we reference a lot of movies, cool movies, like Scorsese movies, the Gangs of New York, Casino, even obscure movies like Chopper and things like that, just cool gangster movies. And the tone was captured perfectly by Pop, and we had a good time. In the short amount of time that we put this together, it was great.
Fantastic. Look, we have one more round of applause, please. Thank you so much. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen the amazing short film, and tomorrow morning, I have some exciting news, the first lucky 500 people in line at the Assassin's Creed Experience obstacle course across the road from the main entrance of the conference centre here are going to receive a signed limited edition poster when that course opens at 10 a.m. So get yourselves there. I mean, get there like an assassin would, just jump in early, kill the rest of the people on the line. Don't do that. Illegal, get in the warrants. Also, if you don't get one of those posters, not to fret. Directly after this session, there's going to be a signing with your Jacob and Evie Frye, ladies and gentlemen, at booth 3745. So make sure you go down there and check it out. And I mentioned the obstacle course. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, has anyone seen it or done it?
Yeah.
Nice, you beat the course. I haven't done it yet. Someone was like, oh yeah, I bet you could do it. I was like, listen mate, I used to be like you, and then I took an arrow to the knee, so... Thank you very much, Gamer Geeks, thank you. If you haven't seen it, you've got to go down there. It's basically designed to train you as an assassin. It's got an incredible set of obstacles for you to take out. Have you two done it?
I did, yeah. I took on the editor of GameSpot yesterday and beat her. So that was good. So I've got my time back. I was thinking that maybe I could challenge Jacob to a time trial. What do you think?
Yes!
You think that could be him?
Are you going to take on the challenge?
What a hangover tomorrow, what?
It's a bit of an old man, so I think I could.
Alright, as long as you do the black wall though, and not the red one that you've done already.
There's an easier sloped red one, and there's the
Right, I challenge you on Saturday morning at 11:30.
Alright.
Okay.
You know what?
Are you actually going to do this?
You're not going to like that, but I'm going to put $20 on Victoria.
$20 on Victoria.
Does anyone else put money on me?
I'll put money on you. If you give me $20, I'll put it on. She just looks like she works out a lot. I can't help it. I'm terrified. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we also put a little call out on Twitter for questions on the game, so we're going to try and get through a few of those in the final minutes. So let's start with this one. Nikolai, or at YT, I can't even pronounce your Twitter name, it's ludicrous, Nikolai. Nikolai asks, Matt, maybe you want to fill this one. Is the rope launcher going to be the way to get around the city? Because if it is, does that kill the whole parkour of AC?
Oh, it's far from kill the parkour of AC. So it's one of the ways to get about in the city. And from one of the things that I've seen from our players experiencing the live demo that we also have at the Assassin's Creed experience, which I encourage you to go and try, because people are having a lot of fun, and we've had more than 30,000 people, I think, play that demo over the last 2 weeks, and the overwhelming response is how the rope launcher, while it changes the experience, it makes it better and more fun for our players.
And you're still doing parkour, you're still free running, it just adds another level to get you on those buildings a little bit quicker.
The rope launcher adds to this experience, it doesn't replace it.
Fantastic, thank you, Matt. Caroline_Reese, or Zero Assassin's Creed 2. Misspelled Creed, by the way, just to let you know, Caroline. She asked, what was your most memorable moment in the process of making Assassin's Creed Syndicate? Who would like to fill that one? Maybe we'll ask the twins.
That's a good question. I mean, some of the funniest things we can't say because they're storyline things, but
Your most memorable moment? The paycheck, right? Joking.
I was going to answer that when I was joining the story.
There's so many funny things that happen. There's so many amazing characters and other fantastic actors that we've worked with and had so much fun. I think when you play the game, you're going to see how much fun we had and the characters that we played. There's some very iconic characters.
And what about you, Paul? What was your most memorable experience from the whole thing? All of that creepy fan fiction that started to come onto the internet.
Yeah.
I've been writing most of it.
Working with me, really, isn't it?
I was working with you. Oh yeah, clearly. Every single day, 6 days a week for 4 months, I loved it.
Meeting a new sister, extending the family.
Pick one up.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go to one more question if we can get through it. This is AC First CIV asked, what happened to Jacob and Evie's parents?
Oh,
Matt.
so,
I've already said that.
well, their mother died in childbirth, and that's going to be maybe surprising to you, but their father, who was a master assassin, died of natural causes. And one of the things that I wanted for this game is that I didn't want it to be about a revenge story. I wanted it to be two young people deciding for themselves to go and free the people of London. It has something to do with their relationship with their father, but they're not out for revenge. Jacob's father has always been telling him that he's not going through life in the proper way, and Jacob wants to prove to his dead father that he can make his own way in life. And Evie is about proving Jacob wrong, that the way of the assassin, that the way of their father is the right way. And at the end of the day, you can imagine that they'll meet kind of in the middle.
I've got a question here from at Mr. Rhino the Bouncer, who's obviously been using that hallucinogenic dart himself. Can we expect to see any type of modern day gameplay this time around? Altair 2 ship is a perfect candidate for an MD setting.
Interesting, but we'll have more present day than in last year's Assassin's Creed Unity for sure. So I know our fans will see the return of some characters that I know you guys love. So we'll tell you more about it later through the summer though. So rest assured, you'll have some exciting modern day in Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
I'm excited about a little bit of present day. I'm still hurt over Desmond. Still hurts me. Still hurts me. But we've got Jacob and Evie now. They're better looking. Now, Ubiquitous Doom has asked, are there characters that react more favourably or unfavourably towards a particular Frye's way of thinking? That's great. So do they react based on who you're going through the world as?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. You'll have, well, some characters that, like Henry Green, for example, which is a character that we've revealed, who is the last assassin in London, reacts very differently to Jacob and Evie. He's more wary of Jacob's ways and associates more with Evie, and this is something that's really important to the story as well.
Fantastic. At B Erickson 95 has asked, will we be able to equip different swords, firearms and outfits similar to AC Unity, and is the day-night cycle dynamic?
Yeah, the day-night cycle is something that we've improved over last year, is back. So you've got a full 24-hour cycle that's back. That's a better simulation of the day. And of course you can equip any weapon that you want, and you've got outfits that you can invest on, both for Jacob and Evie.
So now I can let my protagonist have a siesta and I know when to do it. It's important, they need a rest, all that running.
DLC just for you.
A DLC, yeah, siesta DLC. Just like Jacob and Evie just having a nap. That would be the worst DLC ever. At Little_Burry has asked, what main historical events are we going to expect to see in Assassin's Creed Syndicate?
So Assassin's Creed Syndicate is a bit different than the other Assassin's Creed that we've done in the past, in the sense that we've chosen to set it in a single year, in 1868, because I really want the game to be about like experiencing this transitional period between almost medieval times and the modern day that we live in today. So for me, it felt like a transitional period in which you can, that year felt like the one you could meet the most historical characters. People like Charles Darwin, Charles Dickens were all alive at the time. And I want our players to be able to meet those characters and be inspired by them. So it's really about the people that you meet and the relationships that you forge in the game.
Thank you so much, Matt. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our panel time, unfortunately. Can we have a huge round of applause for the fantastic Victoria, Paul, Gary, and Mark? Thank you very much for being here. It's been exploring the world of Assassin's Creed Syndicate.